Welcome everyone. Today I will show you how to make easy money in the current build of the game, and also how to easily rank up your Imperial rank at the same time. So I'm here at Dolgolf Point, which is actually near the Aditi system. So as you can see over here, there are two systems that are very close to each other. You have Aditi, and then you have this system where I'm at now, currently at a planetary base. And you effectively just peddle goods and data between these two stations. It's also pretty close to Maya in a way. And what you will have there is that in Aditi itself you would have two different stations. You can see them here. And these stations are just, well, let's say the two only stations in that system, besides a couple of planetary ones where you hardly get any missions of. So the idea is that you take up as many missions as possible from these stations. So I'm at Diamond Vision currently. Oh no, I'm going to Diamond Vision, sorry. I'm currently over here at Dolgolf Point. And from this point onwards we will just take up any missions that we can. That will just allow us to peddle goods and data between the stations of the two different systems. Now the power of this entire approach is Aditi, or near Aditi, is that the majority of all the missions are actually very close to each other. So you just often get multiple missions all directed against either one of the two big stations at Aditi, or one of the two main planetary bases in the system next to it, the CNF system. So that makes life a lot easier. And besides that, there are also many of the Imperial factions around as well. So you can very easily pick up an entire string of these missions, as you can see what I did over here. Now, the big benefit is two sides. So you could ask, why would I want to do this? Well, there are two main reasons why. One of the, let's say, primary reasons that the majority of the gamers will, let's say, of the players of Elite will do this is in order to get better Imperial ranks. So, as you know, probably, getting the Imperial cutter or clipper requires a lot of time and a lot of grinding as well in order to get there. And as it requires pretty high Imperial ranks. Now, in order to get a Imperial rank upped a bit quicker, it's advisable to do that through missions. And usually a lot of missions are actually, missions are by now at least, or at this moment, the only way in really effectively improving your Imperial rank. Honestly, I do not know whether any other action actually does anything to Imperial rank. I doubt it though. So you have to do that through missions, and picking up as many missions towards the same target as possible in a very efficient and quick way is of course the most efficient way by which you can complete a lot of missions at the same time. And that's the power of this system near Aditi. There are also other options. There are multiple systems that are, well, let's say that have multiple stations very close to each other. But I found that thus far, from the systems I've tested, that Aditi worked best for me. So here you can see that I'm at Diamond Vision right now. We're again trying to pick up even more missions that we have to deliver to the two different stations in Aditi. So in order to streamline our efficiency, of course. And at the same time, if you would have had any missions from those two other stations that should be delivered to Diamond Vision or Dolgolf Point, for instance, you would be able to deliver them and also score completed missions. Now, another thing that I noticed, at least once you are at a very high, let's say, relationship level with the factions involved at these two different systems, is that there are pretty decent missions available as well that pay out a quite substantial amount of money. Well, that depends on two things. You will definitely earn a lot of money as well by just doing the missions, by just doing data collection missions or data delivery missions. Also, because these two stations are by far the only proximate stations in the area, this means that there's often a lot of, well, states that change between these two systems. So with a state, I mean a state like having a boom in the system, or being in a civil war, or for example having a famine. So that also aids to your advantage if you at least want to rank up on the Imperial side, because that will allow you to effectively have a lot of donation missions as well in these two systems. And by far the easiest ones to complete, if you have the money of course, is to do donation missions. So that's also a big benefit of these isolated systems in a way, of which there are multiple, but as I said before, I found that Aditi, for me, from what I've seen thus far, was the most efficient one to do so, especially if you have a ship already that has a quite kind of a decent cargo hold and requires a large landing pad. I say this because all the ports in the surrounding area are by far at least accessible for big ships. And that's a big plus compared to other systems that are around, because there are some systems around that require ships to have a, well, at best a medium landing pad, because it will require you to land on outposts, and they only have a medium landing pad as the greatest size available. So in that sense, also this system aids you if you have a larger ship, a large ship, like for instance an Imperial Clipper or an Anaconda, as I have over here. That will still require you to really pick up almost, well, let's say maybe 70-80% of all the missions that are available. Now that said, there's also another big advantage. In Aditi, for instance, you will have also on the planetary bases in the system next to it, you will have as well a lot of missions that at some point come available to you once you have a decent relationship level with the factions involved. That will require you to ship goods at a much larger distance, like for instance 200 light years or so away from Aditi. And that actually, those missions often pay out decent to very well. And I'm talking here about maybe, as you can see in the mission board here as well, maybe somewhere around the 4 or 5 million credits for a run of maybe, I don't know, it depends on the mission and how lucky you are, but sometimes you can get like ship 30 tons of goods to a system 200 light years away from Aditi for like 5 million. And you can chain these up as well. So, I mean, in general, all the missions that are from Aditi and that require you to haul a certain amount of goods or something at a greater distance than the system next to it, so let's say at least 200 years away, they will all be, of course, towards the inhabited space bubble. And that will be generally all in the same direction. So, just like with SOTUS and SEOS before, you can very easily now chain up these as well and earn a decent amount of money with a, well, depending on your ship of course and your cargo hold, a very short amount of time with it. So those are very big advantages of Aditi. And I'm sure there are other systems around that are also good, but as said, thus far I found this one to be very easy and efficient system to both have rank up the Imperial on the Imperial side at least, and at the same time also earning a buck or two in the meantime, either by doing the shipping between the two systems or by doing long distance hauling missions later on. Though I would advise, unless you really need the money, to just do only the peddling between the two different systems, Aditi and the CNF system next to it. because otherwise you will lose too much time. Apparently, it's not super efficient unless you really need the money, and that's where you are here. So that said, there's also another thing that's a bit more advanced that you can do to streamline the entire process, and that could be this is a tip. That could be by perhaps having a ship that can also have some passenger cabins. There are plenty of missions available again at both these systems, at all the stations around, that actually allow the shipment of or the transportation of passengers to the system next to it again. And that effectively also gives you a way larger amount of options to choose from in your mission board, because you can also pick up passengers then that sometimes even also pay very decent amounts of money. So I've seen plenty of missions, for instance, where you can perhaps pick up like 8 passengers, and that will pay you like, and that's economy class passengers or business class passengers, either one of the two, and that will pay you up till maybe 300,000, 400,000 credits. Also, don't forget your rank up procedure will be decently quick, just because you will have a lot of missions that you can chain up, and that will improve your reputation. So that said, I hope you learned something from this video. Um, so to sum up briefly, you can go to Aditi. You can see that in the earlier part of this video again, where it exactly is, but it's in between Maya and the inhabited space bubble, and that will allow you to rank up easily on the Imperial side at least, because you have multiple Imperial factions there. And also for people that need money, especially also for beginners, I would say, people that just started playing the game, this can be a very easy way to earn a lot of money, to improve your rank at the same time, and scale up your game by effectively at some point purchasing better ships. Um, so effectively, this is I would say one of the most efficient ways to both rank up and earn money at this moment in the game. And with that, I leave you to it, and I hope that you will have a great day and playing Elite as well. And of course, stay safe and fly safe out there, commanders. And please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. It really helps me out. And if you have any questions, you can always post them in the comment section. Take care, commanders.